Hear him on the cultural hall. Hear him on the cultural hall. Him on the cultural hall. Him on the cultural hall.
It is time for another episode of the Cultural Hall, a Hear Him episode. I love to say Hear Him.
Hear him.
The hymnotist, him. Hear him. We talk all about new hymns. They're not necessarily new hymns. They are new hymns to these songs for church and worship and family.
Hymns for home and church.
That's
There's
what it
new
is.
hymns for home and church.
There it is. That's the proper term. I like to say hymns for a picnic and home and church and in the bedroom and in the bathroom and in the back room and in the front room. And
Well, there's the primary song from younger. It's just whenever you have trouble, just sing a hymn.
yeah, give
So,
a little
hymn
whistle.
for-
No, wait a minute.
They're
That's
hymns
not it.
for home and church and anywhere.
Yeah, hymns for homonym.
If you're in the middle of a work meeting, just start singing one of these hymns. See what looks you'll get. So it'll be fun.
When people get mad, you start singing, if you had chance to meet a frown, do not let it stay. Why can't we get that one? When is that one coming? Maybe the next drop.
Maybe.
Maybe the next drop. We are talking in this episode about the hymn because...
Him because. So I've shared before that I've struggled with anxiety. And so
Sure.
like many of our listeners, it's been a constant part of my life. And, I sometimes don't handle it well and sometimes I do. But when I don't handle it well, it definitely hinders my growth personally. So that's why I kind of led myself to this particular hymn. So picture yourself on a small boat, waves swelling around you, wind tearing up at the sails. Fear creeps in until suddenly the storm stops. The quiet after the chaos is unforgettable. I've felt something like that for many times after exhausting weeks on the road. I travel a lot for work. And it's when those meetings are finally over at the airports, fade away, I have those still quiet moments. And there's a line from the hymn today that captures my attention. And it says, because he calmed the storm, I'm not afraid. So this line is by the author Shawna Edwards. This hymn was written by her because it reminds me that even though storms still rise in our lives, we are not alone. And when Shawna Edwards returned to college at age 45 to finish her music degree, she didn't expect her first songwriting assignment to produce a hymn that would reach so many. But when asked to write a song on any subject, her choice was immediate and clear. She wanted to write about Jesus Christ. And that's where this hymn came. And it is the sweetest little hymn. And we're going to include the link on YouTube to where she first published this hymn. And you can go to her website and you can download this hymn directly. And it is one of the sweetest little songs. The one in the hymn book is also the new hymns for home and church is also, these are two different versions. So the YouTube link will be a slightly different version than you want to get one from the app. They're both beautiful. Shawna Belt Edwards is a Christian songwriter whose music has become beloved across Latter-day Saint community and beyond. What's interesting is I looked into her. Obviously, she's a member of the church, or at least it seems like that. She went to Brigham Young University, but nothing on her page definitely identifies her specifically as LDS, and I kind of like that because she puts it that she's a Christian songwriter, and I like that because there's nothing in any of the stuff I read about her that was specific to only the LDS Church, and her message is more of a Christian message about Jesus Christ. So, truthfully, outside of the fact that she went to Brigham Young University, I wouldn't guess that she's a member of the church except for that. And I like that. I like that she is a message that is broad and comes out to a lot of different people. So her message of because Jesus Christ, that our lives are better. That is the message of this particular hymn.
Well, and to some, unfortunately, still even here in the 21st century, that if they read, oh, it's a Mormon hymn, they'd go, I'm not listening. What? That's a different Jesus we're talking about. That they can immediately discount it. But when we approach it, and it should be, when we approach it from a general Christian appeal, it's like, okay, yeah.
Exactly. And I think
Christ,
there's a different audience. You write to different audiences. Like, for instance, when I wrote my first book, I knew it was based in Utah, and so it would be dumb to hide the fact that they're in a LDS community, but I also thought that there's nothing in the message I was writing
Mhm.
that was specific to the LDS Church. So I wanted the audience to be broader. So I asked many of my what we call beta readers
Mhm.
to help me remove language that would keep other people out.
Mhm.
And I think I did pretty well, especially since one of my favorite reviews was from a Jewish lady who loves Christmas, who said that it took her most of the way through the book before she realized I was an LDS writer,
Interesting.
and she really liked that. And I think that there might people might take exception at that and might say, "Oh, well, why would you shy away from being LDS or anything like that?" And I'm like, "Well, it's not about shying away. It's about reaching an audience that beyond just the exclusive audience of the LDS Church."
Well, and so I'll go a different kind of way around that as well. I think that there can be something to, if you are approaching and trying to teach someone about Christ, like this particular hymn would be, presumably they may not know anything about Christ or may not have felt the spirit of Christ or may not understand the concept of, because Christ did these things, this is what exists or what can be or what is possible or all of that stuff. And so to be able to paint that message, like you take it as a very basic Christian message and share
And
it
this
that way.
particular hymn, or is really, you can tell, is more of towards children,
Hmm.
just kind of the structure of it and everything else. But truthfully, some of the best hymns that we sing every Sunday were originally written towards children. There is a Green Hill Far Away. A lot of people don't realize that hymn was written to teach children about the crucifixion of Jesus Christ in a way that was not as graphic and gruesome as some others might be.
Hmm.
And yet it is now one of our most beloved hymns that we sing at any age. And
Sure.
this, I think, because could fall into that category. Let's read some of the lyrics. I think
Yeah,
that
please.
makes sense. Because he walked the path, I know the way. Because he calmed the storm, I'm not afraid. Because he made the lame to walk and caused the blind to see and blessed the children one by one, I feel his love for me. That's the first verse.
Yeah.
And the chorus is also just a lesson in praising Jesus Christ. And I will praise forever the Savior of the world, and I will sing together with all the saints on earth, because he gave to me everything he had to give. I breathe, I see, I hope, I love, I live.
Hmm.
It is such a beautiful message. I had never heard this before. In fact, until a day or two ago, I don't recall ever hearing this, and yet
Hmm.
it's received a lot of views on YouTube. I looked at it, and I had it pulled up, and then I pulled it away, but the views were significant. It was like, this is definitely gone viral a few times, and it is such a beautiful, beautiful little song, and now part of the Hymns for Home and Church.
There's a certain part of me that just sort of loves that in the modern context that Shauna, right? That's her name, Shauna.
Shauna, yeah.
Yeah, that Shauna went in. You know, certainly there's a story, and maybe we need to chase her down to be able to get this about like why are you going back to school at 45, and all this kind of stuff, right? But that she goes back and she does this assignment, and she's like, fine, fine, I'll put together this song. You know, likely feeling like she needs to redeem herself for being the older student coming back to school and all these things, you know, just works and works and works on this first assignment, and then it ends up being something that is brought into the Hymns for Home and Church
This
just
would be a
as an assignment,
perfect
which, yeah,
person to be on the cultural hall. I mean,
yes,
everything I read, I would love to know deeper about it. Like, she describes herself simply as a disciple of Jesus Christ. She writes music to share her faith and help others feel closer to him. But I, and again, the idea of she went back to get a commercial music degree at 2009 in later in life, that intrigues me. I did the same
yes.
thing. I went back to school in my 40s to get my degree. And so what happened before that? Was it just that she went from high school directly to family, or did she have other things? It would be really interesting to hear her story.
Yeah. All right, we'll get it. Anything else about the hymn Because that we need to make sure that we cover?
No, but if you have not heard this hymn, please look at the links we share. Go to Hymns for Home and Church today. If you don't want to go to the links, just go to Hymns. Listen to this song, and I think it could be one of those songs that, at a moment of tension, anxiety, or stress, could really help you out.
I love it. I love it. It is called Because, and that is another episode of Hear Him. I hope that this episode has nourished and strengthened your body.
And if you're not healthy enough to listen this week, you'll be healthy enough to listen next week.
And that when the time comes, you'll be able to travel home in safety. In the meantime, go Tar Heels. Chris at Alpine Lakes Travel, Debbie Wanless, Chocolate Cake Bites Podcast, and the Tiger with a U will be saving a seat for you
On the back row
of the
Cultural
Cultural Hall.
Hall.
Save me a seat, it's sure to be neat on the back row. We really gotta go on the Cultural Hall show.